no doubt you did it again tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think that's something we can take away from this season. Obviously, ending on a loss is hard and not what you want, but
Welcome back to Hustle Hoop, your home for non-stop WNBA highlights and breakdowns. And wow, what a way to open the season. The Indiana Fever absolutely dominated the Chicago Sky with a 35-point blowout win that had everything. Logo bombs, defensive stops, fast break buckets, and pure star power. From Caitlin Clark's long-range shooting, to Aaliyah Boston's power inside, to Kelsey Mitchell's speed and Natasha Howard's relentless hustle. This was the kind of performance that sends a message to the rest of the league. The game started with instant fireworks. Just minutes in, Caitlin Clark stepped up and buried her first logo three of the season, sending the arena into a frenzy. That shot wasn't just 3 points. It was a statement. Clark came in ready to put on a show, and her confidence spread across the whole team. Meanwhile, Aaliyah Boston got to work in the paint. She sealed defenders, fought for position, and finished with her trademark soft touch around the rim. Chicago tried to push her out of her spots, but Boston's strength and patience made it impossible. At the same time, Kelsey Mitchell turned on the Jets, flying coast to coast and slicing through the defense for easy layups. Her speed in transition kept the Sky scrambling from the opening tip. Indiana didn't just control the offense. They dominated defensively. Natasha Howard brought energy and grit, stripping the ball, grabbing offensive boards, and muscling her way into second-chance points. Every time Chicago tried to get something going, Howard shut it down. Lexi Hull also made her presence felt, fighting for loose balls, deflecting passes, and turning hustle plays into points. Those effort plays don't always make headlines, but they matter. And Hull made sure her fingerprints were all over this game. Clark, of course, wasn't just scoring. Her passing opened everything up. With no-look feeds, bounce passes through traffic, and perfect lob setups, she had the Sky's defense spinning in circles. One possession, she's drilling a step-back three. The next, she's threading a dime to Boston under the rim. That balance makes her one of the most dangerous players in the league. The second quarter only built Indiana's momentum. Boston showed off her versatility, faking jumpers, spinning past defenders, and powering through contact. She was too skilled for Chicago's bigs to handle. And just before halftime, Caitlin Clark delivered a dagger. With seconds left, she used a screen from Boston, stepped back, and buried a cold-blooded three at the buzzer. That shot had the Fever bench erupting and the Sky shaking their heads as Indiana went into the break with a commanding lead. By halftime, Clark had already filled the box score with points, assists, rebounds, and even a couple of blocks, while Boston controlled the paint on both ends. When the third quarter began, the Fever smelled blood. Mitchell came out hot, burying threes and attacking off the dribble. Every time she touched the ball, she looked aggressive and confident. Howard and Boston continued punishing the Sky on the boards, giving Indiana endless second-chance opportunities. Their inside presence was simply overwhelming. And then there was Clark, running the offense like a maestro. She orchestrated everything, bouncing passes through tight gaps, setting up fast breaks, and hitting pull-up jumpers whenever defenders sagged. By late in the third, Clark was inching closer to a triple-double, and her teammates clearly wanted her to get there. They kept cutting hard, moving the ball, and feeding her in transition to pile on the assists and rebounds. The Fever didn't let up in the fourth quarter. Clark added another three, her fourth of the night, pushing her total to 20 points. Then came the moment the crowd was waiting for. A perfect feed to Aaliyah Boston that gave her the 10th assist and brought the arena to its feet. The chemistry between Clark and Boston looked effortless, almost automatic. Boston capped off her night with a monster stat line. 19 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 blocks while shooting 8 for 12 from the floor. She was everywhere, dominating the paint on offense, swatting shots on defense, and cleaning the glass like an all-star. Mitchell's shooting, Howard's grit, Hull's hustle. Everyone contributed to this rout. As the buzzer sounded, the Indiana Fever had sent a loud, clear message to the league. This team is for real. Caitlin Clark finished with 20 points and double-digit assists, putting on a passing clinic and delivering highlight after highlight. Boston's dominance inside was undeniable. Mitchell's shooting gave them instant firepower. Howard's hustle sparked energy, and Hull's scrappy play sealed the deal. This was not just a win. It was a statement blowout to open the season. So what did we learn? That the Fever are loaded with talent, balanced across the floor, and ready to compete at the highest level. Clark continues to show she's more than just a scorer. She's a leader and a playmaker. Boston looks like one of the most dominant bigs in the game. And together, this duo is going to give defenses nightmares all season long. That's all from this incredible opening day performance. If you enjoyed the highlights and breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Hustle Hoop, your home for WNBA coverage all season long. Indiana Fever basketball has arrived, and if this game is any indication, we're in for something special. Stay locked in right here, because when the Fever play like this, you don't want to miss a second. Indiana's second-half performance was all about control, pace, and discipline. Coming out of the locker room, there was no letdown. Many teams relax with a big halftime lead, but the Fever looked even hungrier. Kelsey Mitchell, one of the most underrated scorers in the league, set the tone with her aggression. She didn't just settle for jump shots. She attacked defenders off the dribble, forcing the sky to collapse, and then either scored at the rim or kicked it out for open threes. Her ability to read the defense in real time gave Indiana a whole new dimension. This is what makes the Fever so dangerous. If Clark is hitting from deep and running the show, and Mitchell is slicing through the defense, you simply can't key in on one player. Meanwhile, Aaliyah Boston continued to put on a clinic in the paint. Chicago had no answers for her footwork, her patience, and her strength. Boston isn't just a bruiser inside. She's a thinker. She fakes, spins, and makes defenders guess. And when they guess wrong, she punishes them. One moment she was finishing through contact. The next she was stepping outside and calmly draining a three-pointer. That versatility is why she's already considered one of the brightest young stars in the league. Her defense was equally impressive, blocking shots, altering others, and making life miserable for anyone who tried to attack the rim. Natasha Howard deserves her flowers too. She brought the intangible plays that don't always show up on a highlight reel. She battled for offensive rebounds, fought for positioning, and stripped the ball away from Chicago's bigs more than once. On one possession, she grabbed her own miss, muscled through traffic, and finished. And that's when you could see Chicago's frustration boiling over. The Sky's bench argued for a foul call, but the refs let them play, and Howard's determination stood out. Those are the kinds of plays that break an opponent's spirit. And then there was Lexi Hull, the ultimate glue player. She might not get the headlines like Clark or Boston, but her hustle made a difference all night. Diving for loose balls, finishing plays in transition, and delivering clutch steals, she was everywhere. Hull is the kind of player every coach loves, because she makes smart decisions, plays hard, and does the dirty work that helps her teammates shine. When Clark pushed the tempo, Hull knew exactly where to cut. When Boston drew a double team, Hull rotated to the perfect spot. That basketball IQ combined with effort is why she keeps finding minutes in big moments. But of course, the night still belonged to Caitlin Clark. Her passing display in the second half was mesmerizing. She threaded bounce passes through traffic, delivered over-the-top lobs, and even pulled off no-look dimes that left Chicago's defense frozen. Clark doesn't just rack up assists. She manipulates the defense, making them commit to one thing before flipping the play entirely. That's what separates her from so many young guards. She sees the game 2 steps ahead, and every time Chicago thought they were covering her, She reminded them that her shooting range forces defenders to guard her nearly at half court. One step-back three in the third quarter had the crowd gasping, because it looked more like a practice shot than a contested jumper. By the fourth quarter, the storyline shifted from "The Fever are winning big" to "Can Clark notch a triple-double on opening night?" The energy in the building was electric every time she touched the ball. With just one rebound and one assist left to get, her teammates looked determined to help her make history. And sure enough, with just a few minutes to play, she connected with Boston again, dropping her 10th assist of the night. The crowd erupted. Clark raised her hand in acknowledgement, and it was one of those moments where you knew this was special. The combination of Clark's vision and Boston's dominance was unstoppable. Boston's final stat line was jaw-dropping: 19 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 blocks, while shooting an efficient 8-4-12. She controlled the game on both ends and anchored Indiana's defense. Clark finished with 20 points, double-digit assists, and came just one rebound shy of an opening night triple-double. Add in Mitchell's hot shooting, Howard's hustle, and Hull's all-around scrappiness, and the Fever looked like a complete team. This wasn't just one player carrying the load. It was 5 players executing, trusting, and dominating together. When the final buzzer sounded, the Fever had more than just a win. They had a statement victory, a 35-point demolition that told the rest of the league: Indiana is no longer a rebuilding team. They are here to compete, and they are coming for everyone. Clark may have been the headliner, but Boston's power, Mitchell's speed, Howard's grit, and Hull's hustle all combined to make this a nightmare matchup for Chicago. For the fans, this was the perfect start to the season. High-energy plays, highlight reel moments, and an atmosphere that felt like playoff basketball, even in Game 1. For the Fever, it's about building momentum. For the rest of the league, it's about figuring out how to slow down a team that looks deeper, faster, and more dangerous than ever. And here at Hustle Hoop, we'll be covering it every step of the way. If you loved this breakdown, make sure to like the video, share it with fellow Hoops fans, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. The Indiana Fever are here, they're legit, and trust me, this is only the beginning.